OMG. Welcome to Wild Girls Gone Sober.
Woo! Welcome to another episode of Wild Girls Gone Sober.
This could be a shit show.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Amy.
We are in a hot mood today.
Yeah, we are funky
Little
bitches
saucy.
today. It's a mess. We've been chatting before we started.
So
this
please
recording.
bear with us.
Yeah. We have no idea what we're going to talk about. Both kind of funked. Lindsay is serene and zen yogi over here who just went to hot yoga. And I've been sitting here for half an hour going, everything's awful.
No, I've kind of been doing the same, but I've been going back to yoga for the last 2 weeks. And because it's like a month membership and I got a discount, I've been like, I think that's been helping because you have to, for COVID, you have to sign up for the classes. You can't just like roll out of bed and be like, no, I'm not going to go. It's like, if you sign up and you don't go, they charge you $20. I know. Even if you have the membership. So I'm like, all right, maybe this is what I need in my life to just get me there.
Yeah.
Like I'm at that place where I need to be punished if I don't go.
Ugh.
If I sign up and don't go. So that I think has been helping my my zen through the last couple weeks with COVID, trying to get a couple runs in. Yeah.
Good for you.
I don't know that it's helping enough. I think I could add some baths and some other things for the serenity.
All things I am not doing and some things I cannot do, like running and bath. Because there is no tub in my house. That's been a fun thing though, actually, recently. So Jay Snow and I are talking about house shopping.
Ooh.
Yeah, like actually seriously talking about it because we've been able to put a little money aside that could be down payment money. And so that was exciting. So I think in the next 6 to 12 months, that will be a fabulous, exciting stressor because I have bought 2 houses. So I know it's not the fun, dreamy experience you like to pretend it is. Just like planning a wedding. Horrible. Worst things you can do in your life, buying a house and planning a wedding. Horrible.
So back to saving up some of that money. Don't you feel like that helped not drinking, saving some money?
Yes, I'm sure I have benefited from not spending money on alcohol. This particular money is a little bit of a windfall that we
But in
were
general,
able to put aside.
You're
so.
allowed to do a lot more because you're not spending $60 on a quick happy
Sure.
hour that turns into
Yeah,
dinner and drinks and more drinks. And then
right. Well, remember, I was kind of a cheapo drinker anyway. Like I don't know that I spent the crazy money some people spend on drinking. Like I was good for lots of wine if Jay Snow was paying. 2 or 3 glasses of like max $9 wine if I was going out somewhere. And then I was hitting Winn-Dixie for the best sale possible on the big jug or the box. So not jug, like I didn't do like the,
I know, I don't like,
the wino jug wine.
which I'm sure we could have.
Yeah, I never got to that point, but I was okay with the box wine. Like I was okay with a Franzia in the fridge. I was all right with that. But like the big bottle, like the 2 for bottle that I would swear would last me 3 or 4 days, and I would drink 3/4 of it.
It's like the ones you buy come with a hole in them.
I know. I swear to God. So I was kind of a cheapo drinker. So I don't know that I went out, and I never bought. Like I wasn't like around on me. Let's do shots. Like I know you've mentioned that before.
That, yeah.
I didn't do that because I knew I didn't have any money, so I didn't do it. But I don't. So I bought winter at the end of April, and for anybody who's just joining us, that's my horse. And so I'm busted broke most of the time because that's what they make hay out of is the cash in your bank account. You just shred it. You shred it into little pieces and you just feed it.
I've heard that.
You feed it to him. So I don't feel like I've had extra money. What is amazing right now is I have paid off, I would say 90% of my debt, excluding my car loan. Like I had a personal loan I paid off. I've got 2 relatively small credit cards left that I have a balance on. Like I've really cleaned my shit up.
And that's because of sobriety.
That's a combination of sobriety and this little bit of cash that we've come into. So it's exciting. So I don't know why I was bringing that up. We're talking about house shopping for some reason. But
you said save money, and I was just I just feel like it's so much easier for me to save money not going out to drink. I mean, even when we go to dinner, we're like, oh, that was cheap. Like,
I
even if
know.
it's like a nice place, and I'm like, oh, it's
That's
going to be an
true.
expensive dinner.
Yeah.
And so I'm
And
like,
you realize
oh,
how much of it was booze.
yeah, even when I'm like, oh, we're going to get an extra appetizer because I'm not getting a wine or a martini, and oh, let's get dessert. And calories haven't helped, but it's still like the bill is way less than it ever was when we're just getting a bottle of wine and then maybe a martini for a nightcap, you
Oh.
know?
Sounds like a terrible idea. On top of the wine, blech, vomit. That I think our dinner bills are like half of what they used to be because I thought nothing of having 4 glasses of wine at $9 a glass or $10 a glass. I mean, so now I wasn't I didn't have money growing up. Like we weren't wealthy people. We didn't go out to eat all the time. We lived in a nice home and my parents did the best they could, but they worked multiple jobs to do it. And so when I go to a restaurant or I go somewhere and the food is like $35 a plate, like to me that's astronomical and I'm mortified. I'm like, "Oh God, I've made you take me somewhere really expensive." And I feel like uncomfortable. And so I would be like, "Oh, I'll just have an appetizer for my meal." Like cuz I would feel bad spending that money, but I wouldn't feel bad having 4 glasses of wine and spending 40
Right.
bucks. Like that didn't cross my mind. So now I feel like I don't feel bad when I order an expensive what's expensive to me. I don't feel bad ordering that because I'm having club soda that they charge us $2.50 for. So I don't feel bad.
Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
like, if we're going to go out to eat, it's like I want to go somewhere nice that serves good food it's not food I would cook at home. Oh, yeah. I don't feel guilty about it at all. I'm like, oh, yeah, add extra lobster.
That's going to be an upcharge. That's fine.
That's fine. Just give me what I want.
Fine. Yeah. Well, I do think so. I feel like there's, chain of events. Like some good things happened at work, some other things happened that brought a little cash in. Like all this stuff has happened progressively. So I feel really good about the money situation because I feel like
good momentum.
when you have it, it keeps like when you have money, you make money. And when you're broke, you're really fucking broke. Like it always kind of comes in those waves. So I feel like, okay, so there's some money in the bank. So now we can keep adding to it and that'll feel good. And I paid off the debt. So now this money that usually comes out of my paycheck every single week to pay these debts that are always hanging over my head is not being used for that. So it's just going into an account and it's just sitting. So it's good. I feel like we'll be in a really good position when we're ready to.
That's awesome.
Do
Like
this.
for me, because I tried to fill my heart, the void that I used to drink to try to fill. I would also, when I wasn't drinking, because I was always on like a crazy diet for those issues.
Yeah.
I would buy shit. Like
yeah,
I would
money
buy
definitely
stuff.
burns a hole in my pocket.
Yeah, and I would just keep buying and buying and buying, and I mean, I look at all the stuff that like I'm paying off, and I'm doing well with that. I never thought I'd feel that good about paying off my debt, but it's amazing how good you can feel. Like it's just,
Right.
You feel skinnier.
Well, and like, okay, now I don't have to make that $150 payment to the Capital One card every month. Like that,
Right.
I'm not paying $60. I just paid off a card, literally. It was like a $3,200 balance. It wasn't insane, but it was $3,000 and it was $60 a month in interest. So I'd pay $150 a month to it because that's what I could manage to pay because I had 6 other frigging cards I was paying. And like I was not making a dent ever.
Right.
I was paying $90
And then you're
toward the
kind of like, well, fuck it.
$3,000. Awful.
But yeah, so part of that is like, buying all this stuff. So I'd buy all these clothes and like I wouldn't really wear them because I wouldn't go like out to wear them really. And even if I bought nice stuff and I was drinking and I'm like, oh, I don't want to spill anything on that. It's too nice. Because of a sloppy drunk, Oh, so like I wouldn't even like wear this stuff, or I had this like fantasize about where I would wear it, and that situation just never happened.
Right.
And then I would either get too skinny or too fat or whatever, and like and I wouldn't even have it. And so now when I'm when I can feel myself getting that high from like the Amazon button or whatever, I would just walk in my closet and I'm like, look at all these beautiful clothes. I've been
Get dressed up and go
my
somewhere.
yoga pants, no makeup, and putting my hair up every day, like. They're not important, And like now that like I have to remind myself, it's the inner peace. Like you don't even need these things. Like it's just so silly when you think about it.
I'm shopping a little. I'm still having some shopping. Money burns a hole in my pocket. So the minute the minute it's there and I've paid all the things I have to pay and then there's extra, like my inclination is like, all right, I'm just gonna treat myself and I'm gonna go blow $500 at the mall. Like I'm going to the mall when I leave here. I'm gonna go buy
The
some.
mall, what's that?
Well, I know, but I need bras, and I'm sorry, I need to go to Victoria's Secret and see if they have anything on sale. But the craziest thing happened. So this is totally not an alcoholic thing, but I did my laundry, and I don't typically put my bras in like the bag, like the for Gilet
Oh,
bag
yeah.
there. Yeah, I don't. I usually just throw everything in. Well, one of them got all wrapped up in something, and it snapped the underwire. Never had that happen in my whole life. Like I've had straps get twisted up and things like that happen, but it literally snapped the underwear. So now I have like one normal boob, one weird flat at the bottom boob.
Sounds like a perfect excuse to go spend
Terrible.
some
I need to buy some
money.
bras. So anyway, these earrings.
Yeah, those are cute.
Yesterday. So
But
yeah,
sometimes
I
it
guess
is
I
nice
still
to treat
have
yourself.
some compulsions, but yes.
And sober treats are
I need
good.
treats,
You're
yeah.
coming up on a big milestone.
Yep.
I just feel like this month has been a little heavy on the pocketbook because like we just went for a massage last weekend and that was like a sober treat I'd been wanting to do since we had our massage last, which was my 6 months. So
Yeah,
that's
like
almost
which was
a year
quite
ago.
a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 months ago, to be
Mhm.
exact. And so, yeah, it was that. It's Pat's birthday at the end of the month. It was my birthday,
Mhm.
and then we're going on our fun trip.
Yep.
Woo!
So we're 6 days out from my 1 year. So September
Woo, 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 woo.
25th will be my 1 year, and today is the 19th. So Lindsay and I are taking a little sober girl adventure.
Vacay.
Yeah, we're gonna do an overnighter. We're gonna go.
O-Town.
Yeah, are we talking about
Yeah.
it? Okay, so don't be haters. It's okay if you don't agree with us, but we don't. To each his own.
Yes.
We're gonna go to Hollywood Studios, which is a Disney park, and we're gonna follow all the COVID guidelines of mask and sanitizer and all those things. And they are, working extra hard to make sure it's safe for people, as safe as they can make it. So we're gonna come back and we're gonna be good girls and stay away from people as best we can. But
I will quarantine for 2 weeks.
I will. But
But my parents are here and they're older, and yeah, that's a whole nother story.
I don't know.
We'll talk about that later.
I'm not super. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what we're doing. So that's exciting. I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to celebrate.
Me too. I'm excited to hang out for like an extended period of time and not have to
Yes.
rush and go and do something else.
Yes, I agree. I agree. It'll be nice to just be somewhere hanging out with no like real agenda. Lindsay's checking our volume if you're watching this video. We had an audio issue in the last recording that we can't explain. We have no idea
Sometimes
why
shit
it
just
happened.
happens.
Yeah, so we're gonna be weird and like look at the screen while we're talking.
Amy's gonna call it out.
Sorry. Well, you literally had your head under the microphone.
So yeah, so I'm really excited about that, which actually is a low cost because we have
hookup.
free tickets to go to the park, which is amazing that they still work.
Well, they're desperate for people. I mean, they're probably. I mean, they shut down
they're
for a while.
They're not discounting the prices,
Which I find shocking.
They're
And
not-
I think
and I don't think they're
Universal
desperate.
is. Universal is. Oh, I'm sure they're not anywhere near the capacity that they were. And think about
Well, they're not. They've cut the capacity down. Remember, that's why we're going on a Monday.
Right. So you have to like schedule that you're going to go. That's right. I forgot about that. But I mean, when you think about it, so here in Orlando, Disney and Universal and those places are the largest employers in that area. I mean, they're huge. 1 million people work there to make those places run. So I'm sure COVID has had a substantial impact on the economy in Orlando because they can't possibly have as many people working as they normally do when they're cut capacity and they were closed. So we're helping the economy. That's all.
We are, and we're gonna have fun.
And I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to celebrate my year. And I'm being a little weird about it. Like Lindsay asked me if I wanted to tell my story today, and I said no because I'm not officially at the year, even though you're going to hear this after I've passed my year. And we went to a meeting recently where at chip time they typically ask people like, is there anybody celebrating an anniversary this month? And Lindsay was like, oh,
I got overly
like she really wanted,
excited.
and I was like, no, I'm not. I don't want to. It's like I don't want to jinx it. Is how I feel. Like I feel really secure in my sobriety. And it's not like I'm worried I'm going to go drink, but I don't know. I know I'm not going to drink today. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I can't be out there shouting about it and like jinx it. I don't know. It's making me nervous to celebrate it early. I talked to MC about it too. And I was like, I know Lindsay was all excited about it. And she's like, no, no, no. She's like, I'm with you. I wouldn't have done that either until
And I
getting
think
past a point. And
I
get
was the same
why.
way.
Yeah.
I was so, and I'm sure I was the same way. I mean, even on my day, I was kind of like, I feel like I should be floating, and I'm not. It's
Right,
like,
right, right.
You know, why am I working? God,
Yeah.
does work, does the
Yeah,
world not still revolve around me?
Where's
Like,
the
what's
parade?
right. So yeah, I get it. I just was so excited. 'Cause
I
now
know. You're so sweet. And I love that you're so excited. But
Oh.
I'm like, it's surreal right now.
Mhm.
It's not, I'm not ready yet. And next Friday, so Friday night in my home group, the last Friday of the month, they celebrate anniversaries. And so it coincides with my anniversary. So that's great. And I already talked to the chair for that night. I'm going to share, I'm going to tell my
Oh.
story.
I'm gonna be there.
Yes, and I've got my crew coming. I think I've got a handful of ladies that will be there supporting, so it's great. But there's something weird and surreal and anxiety ridden about it too. And if I can just transition to this, I've been like a ball of anxiety for the past several days, like anxiety to the point of feeling sick. And I think part of that, like Winter is struggling with the heat. I haven't been able to ride. I'm giving him some time off. It's been crazy. We've been done acupuncture and all kinds of crazy shit because we're worried he's going to stop sweating, which has terrible implications if it really happens. Um, so I haven't been able to ride. I'm stressed about that. I had some stuff going on at work that's stressing me out because I don't feel like I'm being a very good employee. I'm just like, and it's all like culminating at this time. So I've been going to extra meetings because I've really like I've recognized how anxious I am. And last night I shared about my anxiety and my work stuff and whatever was going on. And afterwards I talked with the chair who was so sweet. She was like the nicest lady. She's like, I'm so glad you shared. I'm so glad you stuck around to talk to me. I wanted to say something to you, blah, blah, blah. And she said, she feels like every time she's coming up on some kind of a milestone, that's what happens to her too. Like she struggles with anxiety and she stresses about it and frets about it. And she's like, I feel like it's just our disease, like trying to fuck with us. And
Like mind fuck yourself out of it almost.
yeah. Like she's like, dude, just keep coming and do your thing and like breathe and blah blah. And like I can't even breathe right now. We just before we started recording, we were trying to take a deep breath, and I'm like, I can't do it. So
I know that was a little intense.
yeah. So I'm like, I'm just afraid to jinx anything. I just want to wait until the day comes and maybe I'll take a deep breath. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, I feel like, God, I feel like the last like 6 episodes we're like, we're just in a phone.
We're crazy. Yeah.
But, it's like for me, it's just trying. And I told Pat this the other day, we were talking about it, and I was like, it's making the right choice, the next right choice. And I'm just such a firm believer in that. That's what like keeps me going. Like this morning I woke up and I was crabby and I was like, "Rah." And then I'm like, I made the appointment to go. I'm gonna go. It's the next right thing. So I'm not gonna get like as dumb as that sounds. Okay, I need to make breakfast. I need
Right.
to feed myself. Like as dumb as those little things are, like I don't know. That just it helps.
It's one foot
It
in front
helps
of the
get
other.
it done. I don't know that it's helping like mentally. I know it is because those things are getting done, and if they weren't getting done, then I would be mentally much more of a ball of mess.
Well, and there's a saying in, I don't know if it's in sales or what it's from, but like work eliminates worry is the phrase. And I think it relates to everything in life. Like
Oh.
you worry and have anxiety because things are hanging over your head. So if you're doing all the things and you're not letting things hang over your head, then you don't have that anxiety and that stress. And I know that's part of what's going on for me is I haven't been the best employee. I haven't been doing the best job. I haven't been showing up as much as I should be showing up because I've been a little mentally funked. And so instead of like nose to the grindstone getting shit done, I'm kind of being a little bit of a procrastinator and I'm kind of not showing up. And so I have anxiety because things are hanging over my head. Like I need to just get off my ass and get it done. Um,
But
but I think life in general,
right.
that's the case.
No, I love it. I wrote it down.
Oh, you're so cute.
Yeah, and I think, like when we were so lucky that when we first got sober, we had a lot of freedom for our schedules that, you know, we were able to kind of be real lax in work and
Right.
really focus on ourselves and what needed to do, or focus on each other, whoever needed it the most
Right.
at the moment, and kind of go to extra meetings, right? Go to a meeting during the middle of the day when you should be at work, or throw on a jacket so you don't see the work logo, and like, you know, and maybe that like with this year coming up, that's the transition of, you know, maybe just more focus on that sobriety part of it. I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot of anxiety in there. It's a lot of
Yeah.
just the different categories.
It is, and I think I'm pouring food on it, which is making me nervous because, you know, I've worked really hard to lose a lot of weight lately, and I'm like, I really need some ice cream.
Oh my God, I got so mad last night. I'm like, who buys the groceries in this house? All there is yogurt and peanut butter. And so, of course, I mixed it together and I ate
Who
that.
buys the groceries?
I do.
That would be her.
He's like, were you
Who
just
bought
at
the
Publix?
yogurt and peanut butter?
He's like, weren't you just at Publix? I'm like, shut up.
Yogurt and peanut butter sounds fucking great.
It was. I mean, it definitely did the trick, but it
Mm.
wasn't like a pint of Ben and Jerry's, which is what I
Mm.
felt like I really wanted. Not that
I
anybody needs it,
completely
but
respect that. No, I almost ate a pint of ice cream yesterday. So we have an ice cream shop in town that I've fallen in love with, and they
Mhm.
have it's called Cappuccino Crunch, and it's a coffee based ice cream with like big hunks of fudge and stuff. Oh, it's so good. And I realized the other day that I don't have to go in there and get a cone of it because they sell it by the pint.
danger, danger.
So I did. And then I ate a half a pint of ice cream for lunch. But I resisted the other half after dinner. So that was a win.
Yeah.
I had grapes
Celebrate
for
the wins.
dessert.
So something that is a little strange that happened to me, like on a personal level, is my dad drinks just like I do. We're like two peas in a
Did,
pod.
yeah.
Doesn't know when to stop. Life the party. Like that's where I get all my crazy from.
Right. It's where the drinking golf
Oh yeah.
frenzy
Oh.
began.
And that's my dad's jam, just like it was ours. Like he likes to go out and started the day off with a shot, get a couple beers, you know, maybe have a shot at the turn, and then he likes, you know, he doesn't want to go home and not drink. Like who
Right.
can blame him, right? He started. He doesn't have to stop.
That train
then.
is rolling. Just keep
right.
it going.
Woo, woo. And so he's been so good lately. Like him and my parents obviously fight about this constantly. And he's been so good lately.
But your mom drinks too, doesn't she?
Not a lot.
Oh, really?
She's like a
okay.
one
I
glass
thought
of
mom
wine
was a
or
drinker too.
my
Okay.
mom always drank a lot when she was around us because we always drank a lot, like me and my brother. So
Gotcha.
but she's fine. She's definitely not an alcoholic. So my dad came home from golf last Saturday and almost burnt the house down and fell. Didn't remember he fell. Woke up in the morning. My mom took him to the emergency room and he broke 3 ribs. And like, so it's Sunday morning.
And was really shitty to your mom that
Really
night.
shitty.
Doesn't
It just-
remember any of it.
Yeah, the whole situation is just shitty. Like,
Don't come home and drunk grill in the
Right.
garage.
and just don't come home and don't like. It's just like there's a point where like now I feel like I'm at a spot in my life where, you know, like I don't have to make my parents worry anymore. And that
Mhm.
became like apparent when we went out to dinner a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, God, I'm like, my parents are being so mushy. And I was like, God, they're just like, I love you. I love you. You're so great. I'm like, all right, guys, like, relax, you know? And Pat's like, do you realize they've spent their entire lives since the day you left worrying about you drinking and what would happen? And now they don't have to. And I was like, I started crying. Like, I would just like, and realized that I knew it was a large impact, but it just at that moment, it really hit me as being like something real. So I'm at this point where I feel like I can enjoy my parents and their silliness and their craziness and they're getting older. But now, like this happening, it was just like, it was this weird, like I want them to be able to enjoy me sober. And now they're like going to be getting older and now they're still getting crazy.
Okay,
and like,
let's whoa.
I don't
though.
know.
Like they're like in their 60s. They're not.
they're
old.
late 60s.
Okay,
My mom's going to
but-
be 69.
Okay, I'm like, but they're not old. I mean,
No,
they're still
no.
there's plenty of vibrancy in there.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like they
But I'm
should-
a little worried about your dad. Like, I want
Yeah.
him to maybe recognize that he's got an issue. Like, and I don't know if he's an alcoholic, right? Like, that's up to him to decide that. But
if I was a
there's
betting
some-
woman, I
there's
would bet
some
yes.
signs there that
Yeah.
he might want to join our club.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like when you talk to him about it, because it's going to be combative. So the other day I was
Right.
like, all right, I'm going to go over. So I've been trying to go see them all week and just stop, even just to stop by because I know it helps my mom out. And, my mom's like he said sorry. And my mom's like, whatever. But she's still pissed, She's still like, what the fuck? You almost burnt, like
Right.
she's still
Does he
mad.
remember when you fell and broke your face? Like, do you want to have that conversation? Like, hey, Dad, remember when I fell and broke my face?
Yeah. So I know we were talking about it and I'm like, well, and Pat's like, well, you had 2 DUIs and broke your front of your grill in half and that wasn't enough. And
Meaning
I'm like,
her teeth, not
yeah,
her
my
car.
teeth. Yeah. Although I busted that up a couple times and didn't get a DUI, There's plenty of times I have busted up the vehicle that I should have.
Oh, we should talk about. We'll circle back to
But
DUI.
yeah, so it's just a weird, surreal because it's like I don't want to say I am my dad, but like I am a mirror his drinking or
Right.
mirrored.
Right.
And it's
Well, you're a
just
child of an alcoholic. Like
right.
you learned a pattern of drinking as normal that wasn't.
Yeah, and I don't think that my dad was like crazy like that. Right? It's this weird. It's like instilled in you. I feel like, and for some reason,
Right.
our personalities are just that's where I got that from, and it's like this weird like, oh God, like thank God I stopped drinking because that could have been me. Like that could have been another 30 years of me
Yeah.
doing that, and God
Oh,
knows
yeah.
what. Like if could I even survive that?
And there's
So
that always blows my mind. Like when people come in the rooms and they're way older and they're talking about how they've only come in the last
mhm.
10, 20 years. And, I'm grateful I got sober at 40 because it could have been me walking in at 60. There's a lady who comes to my home group I haven't seen in a long time. I don't know. I hope she's okay. But she's still in and out and struggling. And she's got to be at least in her late 60s, if not older. And she comes in every once in a while. Like she'll be good for a while and then she'll come in and she'll clearly be hammered.
Oh
And be
God.
distraught and crying about it. Like she just can't get her shit together. And I feel so sad for her because she is in her later years and I just can't imagine. Like we're very fortunate to be
Mhm.
the age we are and be sober.
And all the damage that we've done. I mean, we're making like you've lost weight, you're riding winter, like you're working out, doing all these things to try to like reverse some of the damage that's been done internally, mentally, and make us stronger. So the next 40 years we can be rock climbing or doing whatever and not,
Right.
like
Well,
I don't know.
I heard so I was listening to a podcast on my way here this morning. They were talking about sobriety being or drinking being the top of the iceberg that's above the water, right?
I
Like
saw
that's the drinking, but everything else below it is really what culminates there. So I feel like us getting sober now is giving us the next however many years to be working on all that other stuff that caused us to be drinkers, our self-esteem, our insecurities, our whatever, and yes, the healthy I always roll my eyes, but I don't like you're saying like, yeah, all the granola crunchy shit. Lindsey. Yeah, that's a part of it, but having the time to work on all these inner demons that we have, like that's really, I think, part of the gift of it. But
Well, and I'm granola crunchy because like when I eat a Publix sub, like I love a Publix sub. I will eat. I
it's a
can't.
weird Florida thing.
Yeah, it's such a
Sorry,
great thing. But
guys.
like I don't like to get a half. I'm like half, but it's just the way that I drink and the way that I overindulge. I'm like I'll just get the whole thing and then I'll pretend I'll eat it the next day. But I can eat a whole Publix sub because I'm like a secret fatty inside. But
Let me talk
I
to
don't even
Fat
know.
Lindsey.
I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, but being granola and eating healthy. It's like if I eat that, I'm gonna feel like shit, and then I'm gonna feel bad, and I'm gonna get depressed, and then blah 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 blah. Whereas like if I eat like a whatever, something healthy or something that's gonna make me feel good.
Do you
you're
talk
more
about
likely-
food with Susan Shirley?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I think you have because I think there's definitely like an eating disorder thing going on
for
over there.
sure.
Yeah,
I've been on
like
a diet my whole life.
Yeah, well, me too. But I don't think it's the same thing. Like I don't think it's like I don't think it's the same thing. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Hear me talk
your
about
your
food?
relationship with food is interesting. Yeah, that's all.
Well,
Sorry.
that's why I try to cook stuff that's healthy that I enjoy, and makes me feel like I'm creating something that's like
right. But
yummy.
it's like dysmorphia. Like you
I definitely have body
perceive you have the body dysmorphia, but I think you have a food dysmorphia too because you perceive some certain things as healthy and better choices than other things.
Mhm.
So when you eat the things that you perceive as being good, healthy choices, like you feel better, like good job, Lindsay, pat, 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 like you did
Right.
a good job. But they could be like these crazy high calorie things, but because you perceive them as like you could have a 6-inch Publix sub
Oh yeah.
that is perfectly okay and,
Oh,
and an
absolutely.
appropriate meal and you shouldn't beat yourself up for.
I'm saying the things that make me
But
feel.
granola is like 1,000,000 points.
Well, I
and
don't even eat granola.
it was
I
so expensive.
know.
That's all.
Anyways,
They're so cute.
it's the way
Anyway.
that it makes me feel inside. 'Cause
Sure,
I'm not going to
sure,
eat
sure.
half of it.
See, food never makes me feel sick. I don't relate to that. Like I could eat the junkiest shit food,
And you're fine.
the
You
ne-
feel
I have
fine?
a stomach of iron. Like nothing upsets
Okay.
my belly. Like
See, that's not me.
I feel like $1,000,000. I don't care. I'm happy I ate it because it was good and tasty. I might feel a little guilt when my scale goes up. Like I'm weight based. Like everything in my brain is how much I weigh. Like that's what I worry about is how much I weigh.
See, I'm trying to go with the feeling and not the scale, but
Right.
Tuesday's my weigh-in days. Anyways, that got off way
that
on
was a left turn.
Woo!
Sorry, let's come back. So I'm listening to a new podcast just to change topics for a
Mhm.
minute. So I've said before, like I love podcasts of sober people. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to
Right.
be sober content, but I like sober people. And there's a new podcast. It's called Smartless, and it's Jason Bateman, who I fucking adore. And
Is he sober?
I'm not sure. I'm
What's
unclear.
it called?
Smartless, LESS. Yep. It's Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, who played Jack on Will and Grace,
Okay.
just Jack, and Will Arnett, who is sober, and I love Will Arnett. He's a freaking riot.
I don't know how.
You do. He was on. Did you watch Arrested Development?
Yes.
He was the brother on Arrested
Oh,
Development
yeah.
with the really deep voice. Yeah. Not the brother that ended up with the hook hand. The other brother, the tall, like really deep voice brother.
Okay, yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, he's great. So the three of them, they're hilarious. But Will is sober. Jason Bateman might be. I haven't quite figured that out. But they're all really good friends with Dax Shepard, who I adore and is sober. And it's just a really funny, great podcast. They're interviewing different people every week. One of them brings the guest. The other two don't know who the guest is. So it's kind of like on the spot coming up with questions.
Ooh.
Well, they had Robert Downey Jr. on.
Who's sober?
Who's sober, and he and Will Arnett are really good friends, and so it was really cute just kind of hearing some of the things, like him talking about some of his experiences going through, the shit that he went through, and getting sober and blah blah blah. And he had a party at his house, and Will was with him, and he was offering somebody wine, and had to like go get a bottle of wine, and he was like, "Will, come with me," and like brought Will as his sober body to like go get the bottle of wine. And he's like, I carried it halfway up the stairs and then I handed it off like a hot potato. Like I just didn't even want it in my hands. And he's been sober for years. I mean, I think he's like double digits sober. But it's just great. It's a great podcast, but I enjoy listening to other sober people talk about stuff.
Yeah, I've been trying to get away. Well, I was trying to get away from my audibles for a little bit because I find I was getting like a little obsessed with them. Like I was listening to them all the time.
She confessed it on tape, kids.
So I'm trying to like try something new that's still
Oh,
like
good.
sober stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to like some of our favorite podcasts,
Yeah.
which has been good because I think it helps us with like some topics and just a different sober perspective. And it's just interesting to hear different people. Like one I was watching and the girls was listening to, and the girls' partner started drinking again. Did you listen to that one?
I haven't. I'm wicked
And I was like,
behind.
because
I'm like 6 episodes
I
behind.
can't imagine being with somebody, and it's kind of like spiraled, but I can't imagine being with somebody that drinks all the time. I just can't.
Like drinks to get drunk drinks?
I just
Because Jason
at
has
all.
beer
Just at all. I think at all.
daily. I would say daily. He comes home and has a beer or two, but it's a beer or two.
Yeah, I mean, that
doesn't
probably
bother
would be
me.
fine.
Yeah.
It's the trusting. You've been with Jason for forever. It's trusting that somebody that would be their norm and that they wouldn't spiral off. I don't know that anxiety would be okay for me.
Well, I've been with him forever, and he does not ever drink to get drunk.
Right. Which
Like,
is why
he's,
even bother?
yeah, I mean, we've got 9 years under the belt, and
what
I've
does that even mean?
seen him. I know. I've seen him maybe a little bit like loose, maybe twice in the entire time we've been together. and I'm probably exaggerating. Like, probably really once, and
And
he
probably
was
the 2
probably
times you
barely
were way
loose.
too
Yeah, I
drunk.
probably got shit wrecked. Um, yeah, he doesn't like that feeling, but that's because of he did like he had a wild ride when he was younger, and he did dumb things and paid dearly for it, and now doesn't ever want to have that out of control feeling. It's funny, I haven't gotten to it yet because I'm supposed to read the big book, that's part of it,
I
but
haven't either.
I kind of haven't. And I've read, like, I'm reading along as my sponsor dictates as I'm doing my steps. Like, there's different things you read in the book as you're doing the steps, but I've never just read the whole book. And she said to me that, or maybe it was my therapist who said this to me, but she said my husband he's the unicorn and he's in the book. She's like, there is the unicorn in the book who just figures out how to control their drinking, and they're able to do it. But the unicorn. But I haven't read that story, so I don't really know.
Yeah, that was one thing I did want to work on my second year of sobriety. I was like, all right, I'm going to do the steps. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it just hasn't happened. And at first I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to force it to happen. And I'm like, we're in the middle of COVID. I'm doing great. I don't need to add extra pressure to myself right now. I think when we get back into the swing of things and we go to I start going to meetings on a regular basis, it'll be a little bit easier to see the people. Because for me, if somebody's not like, hey, how's it going? How's step 4? I'm going to be like, I'm not going to do it. I don't know. It's just is that weird?
No, I was actually thinking about you and this as I was driving up here today. So it's interesting that this has come up. I don't think that the 12 steps is the be all end all, and I don't think it's for everybody. And I don't know if it's for me. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've kind of been dragging ass through it. I'm about to hit a year, and I'm on 6, and I've been on 6 for a while. I have had people say to me, like, meetings got me sober. The steps made me a happy person. Like, I've had people say different things. And so at this point, I feel an obligation to go through it. But I can't tell you, I feel like the steps so far have changed my life or my attitude. It's been grueling because I struggle with the religious aspect of it. It's been, I love my sponsor. She's a lovely, lovely lady, and I'm glad to work with her. But I don't know that I'm not sold that it's the be all end all. And it's funny because different people find different things. There are a lot of different recovery groups out there. It doesn't have to be AA. And I was thinking of you because I was listening to that same podcast we were just talking about with the girls. And the person they were interviewing was saying that, the 12 steps it wasn't a program for them. They didn't resonate with it. They went through it, but it didn't resonate with them, and they found something else that really did. And that could be you. And it doesn't mean we're not excluded from the AA culture of meetings and support and that fellowship if the 12-step piece, I mean, it's a 12-step program. That's what it is. They're always going to talk about it. They're always going to focus on it. That's what it is. And it works for people.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not gospel. I mean, there's lots of different things. So I don't think it's weird. I don't think you have to do it ever if it doesn't ever speak to you.
Oh, God, I feel like I have to do it.
Number one, you're sober. You're sober.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's the goal, right? You're sober. Are you happy? Are you healthy? Are you working on self-growth? Yes.
Check, check, check.
Do you have to do the 12 steps? I don't know. I feel like I'm doing it more out of obligation than being spiritually motivated to do it. So I don't know. That was it. That was my 2 cents.
Well, maybe when you
That's my 10 cents.
Maybe when you're done, you can walk me through them, and I'll do mine with you.
Oh, God, I don't think I could be your sponsor. No. But see, you need the sponsor is who's supposed to do that. That's their job. A sponsor's job is walking you through the steps. And I don't know that I could be your sponsor because I'm your buddy.
I know.
It might be weird.
It would be.
I don't.
I can't be like, you never guess what my fucking sponsor said. She was so right. This bitch. And it's you I'm talking about.
And you, yeah, fucking bitch.
And then you said this.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, not a good idea.
No.
But,
well, and it should be someone that you could, I mean, there might be things I'm pretty sure we tell each other everything, but there might be some deep, dark, icky thing that you don't ever want me to know about you. And that's okay. That's your choice to have something like that. And it would be better to have somebody that you don't really give a shit what they think about you when the world comes down to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can tell MC anything, and I don't want her ever to not love me, but
She's gonna love you no matter what.
she is. But at the end of the day, like,
Right.
I've told her all my dirty laundry.
I really just, for me, I think that like, I just want to get to the part where I have to say sorry, go through that,
See,
and
I
then
don't,
be done with that.
and that's coming. That's next, and I feel weird about that. I feel
See,
weird
like
about
that would
it.
feel like the cleansing part, right?
Yeah.
For me, that's what I feel like it would think.
I'm having a hard. So I know there's some things that are easy to identify. Like I did this, I did this, I did this, but a lot of it is like I was just kind of generally an asshole, and that's hard to make a list of. Like they call it a living amends when you're like my husband. I don't have to make like a true like step amends to Jay Snow because I'm kind of constantly making a living amends where I'm trying to be a better person and be a better partner
And if something happens, you take care of it
right then and there. Exactly. So there's that. But like my ex-husband, okay, I probably have some shit to like feel bad for there. I wasn't the nicest person to him. I had a super lack of maturity, but he was also a 30-something-year-old man who married a 20-year-old girl. Like you signed up for a maturity, dude. Like there's some weird things in all of that. I don't know. And we don't speak. Like it ended really badly in flames, and we don't speak. And he's remarried, and I'm remarried, and we're both moved on with our
well,
lives.
maybe
and
that's
happy.
one you don't.
Right.
Right.
Like, so it's just I don't know. I'm not looking forward to that piece, and it's not like I have, and I don't have any big giant horrible thing. Like I gotta apologize to Jane. Remember Sober Jane? I puked in her car, made her miss the Kid Rock concert, drank a bunch at her house after she got sober. Owe her some sorries for sure.
A new another concert when it
For
comes out.
sure, I owe her some sorries. But I don't. It's not like I have a lot of those specifics. Like I didn't steal money from my mom, or like I don't know. It's weird. It all feels really fluid and weird to me. So I don't know. I'm not all that into the step situation, I'll be honest. Like I've been slugging through it like a
Slug?
like there's no I don't know, urgency there. And I don't know why. And I think driving up here as I was thinking about it, I was like, well, maybe I'm not a 12-step fan either. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to go through the whole process. I am. I want to help other people, so I want to get to step 12.
I know it's like this badge of honor. I feel like I'm missing on my Girl Scout like vest, Like, well, where's your 12-step badge? I don't see it on there. Like,
nope, it's not on there.
See, you're sober and happy, and
not
you've
on
got
there.
inner peace, but I don't see your badge
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
Like, so, but I'm only a year and 3 months, so there's time.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, I think everything's worth exploring. Right.
Right. And even
I'm kind of in a shitty headspace right now. So that's probably not helping my depiction. Like for those of you just joining us, go back and listen to me when I'm nicer. I'm in a shitty headspace.
Episode 12. No. Just 12. No.
Oh man, I have a fun story to tell. Actually, I'm going to change gears because I feel like I'm making this a depressing topic.
Well, no, we flipped back from a lot of different topics.
I have a great happy help somebody story to tell, and I don't know if it has a happy ending or not. So it's kind of a cliffhanger.
Be our closer.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, all right. Are we there? Okay, good. So what day was this? It was last week sometime. I decided I was going to go to a meeting. I think maybe you and I had met for coffee. No. Anyway.
We went to a meeting last week.
No, this was a different day.
After my dad fell, I was like, can we go to a meeting?
I had I know what it was. I had a coffee meeting with some of my YP people. And I looked at the clock. It was like 5:05, and I was like, "Oh, I could make it to my home group meeting that night." And I decided I was going to go. So I'm driving there. I'm running late. I'm nervous. I'm not going to make it in time. I thought, oh, maybe I should just pull off and hop on the Zoom meeting and not go to the in-person meeting and whatever. And I was like, no, whatever. You're a fucking alcoholic. If you show up 10 minutes late, they're not going to shoot you in the face. Like, they don't expect you to be on time anyway. So I talked myself into going.
You should be on time. But
so I get there, like you should, but it's okay.
Still
it's better
go.
to show up. Yeah. So it was probably like 5:35 when I pulled in the parking lot. And I saw this dude. So my group meets at a church, and it's a pretty it's not a huge campus, but there's multiple buildings. There's like the actual church. There's like where we have our meeting, and then there's like a school, maybe a daycare
Okay.
kind of situation. So there's a few different buildings. So I get there and I saw this guy walking up to one of the other buildings, and they do other things there. Like people have committee meetings for the church or whatever. It's not always us, alkies showing up. So I just dismissed. I saw him walking in, and I got my mask, I parked my car, and come walking in. And I saw him as I was walking up the path. I saw him go past the building meeting happens at to the building that's behind it, and then I saw him walk back and try another door. And so clearly he's looking
For
for
something.
the meeting.
Right. Okay.
I'm assuming. So as I was walking up the door, I was like, "Hi, are you looking for the meeting?" And he was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Come on, I got you." And he was like all excited that I found him. So he comes in and he sat next to me, and it was a pretty small meeting, so everybody was sharing, and eventually the chair called on him, like, "How about you, my friend back there?" And he introduced himself, and it was day one.
Aww.
And I thought, oh, like what a perfect example of I was exactly where I was supposed to be. If I had been on time, there would have been no one out there. He may have given up and gone home and not come in. And I was like, I was so heartwarmed that it was day one and he was there and I had rescued him from the parking lot and brought him in. But I haven't seen him since. So I'm like, I don't know if he came back.
Maybe he'll come back for your
That's
1-year
why I say
anniversary.
it's a cliffhanger. I don't know if he's been back since, and I don't remember what night it was. If it was Monday or Tuesday, so might be the night that he goes. I don't know. I just know I wanted to go every single fucking day when I was new. So I want him to go every day. I was excited. I know. I was like, oh, I found him. He's mine. He's mine. I rescued
Stay
him.
away.
He's mine. Except he's not because he's a boy and he has to go be with the boys. But so yeah, it was nice.
On that warm,
That was my happy story.
warm, happy story. See, next time you're feeling just think about that guy.
Yeah. That was a good one. That was good. So that's why I say I want to get to step 12 because I like the helping other people part. That makes me feel great. It makes my little light shine. But I can't be a sponsor. I feel like I can't do anything till I'm over a year and I get through the damn 12
Gotta get your
steps.
badge.
Yeah. Sew it on me.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry we were a little all over the place. I think we covered all 36 topics today.
Sweet.
But thank you. And we'd love to hear from you. So if you can, shoot us an email, a DM, a message.
Yep. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need you.
wildgirlsgonesober @gmail.com is our email, and our handle is wildgirlsgonesober. So thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time,
You can stay sober wherever you are.
we choose to do it in paradise.